Welcome, folks. Thank you for joining. They tell the story of Alfred Nobel, that the newspaper had in the obituary, his obituary, and it said, lengthy obituary and about his great achievement, and he's the one who invented dynamite and brought mass destruction to many people as a result. The obituary says, as he's reading it, about himself. Mistakenly, another, I think it's Alfred, if it's his first name, if I remember correctly. It was another person that passed away, but mistakenly thinking that it was him. Newspaper wrote an obituary, and he's reading about himself. I thought to himself, oh my gosh, this is how I'm going to be remembered. This is terrible. And he devoted the rest of his life to doing good. And the Nobel Prizes for peace, for science, and so on are as a result of what he wanted to leave as a legacy for himself and how he would be remembered. So, of course, that prompts sometimes people, at least it did in his case, of doing good in this world. That we should be remembered after we leave our time in this world, that we shouldn't be forgotten. But once we leave here, is that it? No more effect. So we make sure we do a wonderful job now of changing the world for good, having a positive effect on the world, on humanity. So then we should be remembered forevermore. So that's definitely worthy and a good thing to do. I mean, the intent may be just that you shouldn't be forgotten, which, and remembered for good, which is better than, leaving this world and not making an impact. As a matter of fact, the note, God forbid, someone who commits suicide, what does the note say? Whether I'm here or not here doesn't make a difference. I make no impact. I make no difference. And it's too painful to be here. So, goodbye. So the impact is, not felt, and therefore, being that it's too painful, whatever a person's going through, what's the point? Now that's in life itself, and yes, in life itself we should be making an impact. We are here to make an impact. By the way, it's one of the reasons I tell you to share the class, because that itself makes an impact. Now, as minor as it might be. But everything ultimately is about making an impact in this world and changing the world for good. Every mitzvah does that. Brings holiness, brings the light of God in this world, changes the world for good. And that's what we're here for. But there's something more than that. I mean, there's all that good that we do, but then there is something more than that, and that's what we're going to learn about today. At least begin our journey on that note. So, the Alter Rebbe, in the letter, the 27th letter, he is writing it to the Hasidim in the Holy Land of Israel of Reb Mendel Haradoker. Mendel Haradoker was one of the mentors, teachers of the Alter Rebbe. In 1777, he made Aliyah. He went to the Holy Land with many of his followers. They settled there. Originally, it was a northern part of Israel. And then I think Yerushalayim, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, 11 years later, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 11 years later, in 1788, he passed away. And this is a letter of condolence to his Hasidim. a unique letter of condolence that is to comfort and to give strength to his chassim, to his followers. So he begins with, my beloved, my brethren and friends who are as dear and so forth to me as my soul. Always, in many letters, the Alter Rebbe begins that way, in a very warm and connective manner to those who he's speaking to. May the name of God be upon you, and may you live forever. And your children with you, the seed of truth. May you be blessed by God forevermore. Wow. So he says, I've come to speak to you, to your heart, about the fact that your heart is smitten and that you are in pain, the passing of Reb Mendele, and come to console and support you. My ear has heard from others, and I've understood myself, the Alter Rebbe says. The Alter Rebbe understood how he understood. And now he begins the conversation of giving comfort. He says there's an idiom of our sages that he has left life for all the living. In other words, a righteous person passes away, they have left life for the living. Now, what does that mean exactly? Because when a person passes away, they've left life for others to live. But what does it mean they left life for the living? So here the Alter Rebbe says the following, that a tzaddik, a righteous person, what is their life about? What is their nourished vitality? Where does it come from? So he explains that the life of a tzaddik is a life of faith, awe, and love of God. That is what their life is. Not only that's what their life is about, that's what nourishes them. I'll be quite frank with you, I ate something before this class. Feeling a little hungry, needed some nourishment. Now, there's no doubt learning Tanya does give nourishment. But as we would say, it's nourishment more to the soul than it is to the physical reality. Be quite frank. Which, that's a normal person. A tzaddik, though, their nourishment really comes through their faith, awe, and love of God. Food gives them some kind of vitality. Food can give them some kind of vitality, but it's not the real vitality where they get it from. Being they're truly soul people that happen to be in a body, living that way. We are that way also, but we're more body-oriented, they're more soul-oriented. So therefore, faith, awe, and love of God is what truly gives us vitality. And so that's, and that they, of course, share and inspire us with. Now, in the time of their passing, when this righteous person passes away, God elevates their ruach level of their soul. There are 5 levels of the soul, 3 that are incorporated. 3 that are incorporated from within the body. Nefesh, ruach, neshama. So the ruach level, actually first the nefesh level, the lowest level, remains connected to the body. So there's still something left, some vestige of soulfulness left to the body. Not obviously, an animated full soul in a body, but there's some vestige of connection, the nephesh level. The ruach level, which is the emotive part of the soul, it ascends to the highest of levels. And it leaves over life for those who were connected to that tzaddik before his passing and even after his passing. In other words, during their lifetime, the tzaddik was able to give of himself, and what's himself? Faith, awe, and love of God. He was able to give that. That's what he labored for in life. And now, after his life, and at the time of his passing, this becomes revealed ever more so, more strongly than ever before. And those who are bound to his soul, as the Alter Rebbe says, thick ropes of magnanimous love and eternal love, it will be there forever. In other words, those who desire life, to cleave to God through the tzaddik, when he passes away, they're still bound up with him. They're bound up with that tzaddik, with the ruach level of that tzaddik. And that ruach level of the tzaddik feeds them, gives them, as the ruach level, gives them that faith, awe, and love of God. Furthermore, the Alter Rebbe says, in the connection to the tzaddik, to a particular tzaddik, here again is in reference to Reb Mendele Haradoker, but this is of course of every righteous individual, that there's also a protective shadow that we live that protects us from negative influences. This is the chaya level of the tzaddik. Chaya and yechida are the two levels of the soul of every individual that is, encompassing. It's not integrated from within, but hovers beyond encompassing. So it's therefore, what's protection? Protection when you have something that encompasses the person, like a helmet, for a soldier in battle, right, is a protective because it's encompassing the head. So this is a protective level of the soul that encompasses and gives protection to those people who are connected to that soul when that person passes away, that they shouldn't be affected negatively by negative forces. The Alter Rebbe says, and this is all as water reflects the image of the face. When you look in water, right, it reflects the image. So likewise, when we are connected to this righteous individual, so reflected back to us are these qualities of the soul of this individual upon his passing and in his after his time in this world. So with this, then we can understand the statement of the Zohar that when a tzaddik departs, he will be found in all worlds more than during his lifetime. More than during his lifetime. Meaning, in this world, even more than he was physically in this world. And it will produce, for those people connected to him, great offshoots of generations and generations that will be affected by this righteous soul. Next class, we're going to go into more detail on this to explain it in more depth, the concept. How could that be? How could it be that a righteous person is more effective in the afterlife than even in this life. As the Zohar says, to be more found. So we will learn about that in forthcoming class. But think about it. If life for us is defined by the material pleasures and physical pleasures we have of this world, well, then the moment we pass away, we have no more material pleasure, physical pleasures. It's done. It means I'm over. I'm finished. I'm finished. That's it. For a tzaddik, faith, awe, and love of God is what defines them. Well, because soul continues and lives on, soul can't eat afterwards. You can't do lunch. Can't have the pleasure of, a nice vacation. I mean, Canadian maybe is a better vacation, well, whatever. You understand what I mean? The physical pleasures of a vacation that we might look forward to. So it's really over. But if life is about the faith, love, and awe that we have of God Almighty, well, the soul continues with that faith, love, and awe. It still has it, didn't lose it. Something to think about our lives, what it is now. But what we're saying over here is not just what you did in your life, they'll be remembered forevermore, which of course that itself is very, is invaluable, no question, as we told the story earlier. But moreover, that there is an effect of the soul of the righteous, and all of us have some kind of righteousness to us, especially those who are coming to learn Tanya, no question, right? There's no question. Okay, we're not righteous people, but we have a lot of good stuff. And probably we're not just living to seek the next pleasure, albeit most of humanity is, when you think about it. Thinking about, and they think about doing good too and having an impact, absolutely. But I don't think that's most of humanity's thought process of, how can I make a bigger impact and do good? That's what drives them through the day. It may drive them partially. I don't think any of this is black and white, to be quite honest, but this is some of the things that we should think of for ourselves in our lives. What motivates me? What's compelling me? What am I seeking? And that doesn't mean, listen, I had breakfast and enjoyed it. They give me some boost, some energy. Is that though, what I'm can't wait to have lunch, or can't wait for Shabbos, I can have some good food. Now, I can't wait for Shabbos is one thing, but just to have some good food, that's another thing. Anyways, some good things to think about, and some good things to share with others. I still see that many, many people are reluctant to share, but a reminder, some good stuff is coming. Those who did not give me yet your personal email, please private message me so that we can share more good things. And reminder also, Sunday night there'll be a Torah class. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zucher in Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day, a good Erev Shabbos, and a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you for joining.